So in a celebration of the end of summer, we are going to be making a project about tulips. If you look at these tulips, they come in all different colors and many are multicolored. So we are going to be doing a printmaking project. You can use one color, you can use many colors. It is totally up to you, but I wanted to give you the option and some pictures of tulips. Okay, so today we're going to have some fun. We're going to get a little messy. It's going to be awesome. It's a one-day project. That means you have to be done today. So we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. First of all, I have this piece of paper. It's a little discolored. It's a little creased. I didn't want to throw it out because I don't like wasting paper, so I'm using it as my example. On the back, whichever you deem to be the back, you're going to write your name. And you're going to write your class to Z, because we don't have a Z. Okay. Could also be a first grade lesson, this one. So I'm going to turn it back over to the front. And now I'm going to draw with one of my greens. I'm going to draw stems. And I don't want too many stems. Maybe not more than 7 stems. So I'm going to draw some of them really short, like that. I'm going to draw some of them really tall, like that. That should be the tallest one that you do because you still want room for your flower. I'm going to draw some medium, maybe one that's really, really tiny down there, and then one that's a little higher but not as high as the tallest one, and then a medium one over here. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't go beyond 7, so that's perfect. You can also hold your paper this way, and then they can be much different lengths, but you can still have 7 that way. Okay, so now I have to draw the leaves. So I'm going to take the same oil pastel, and I'm going to make like an A. These are tulips, so the leaves are kind of broad and shaped like an A. So I'm going to go like that, A. I could do another one on here. It could be a long A, like that. I'm going to do one down here. Maybe this one just has the one. So the capital letter A is what we're doing, coming off of one of the stalks. Okay, so over here I'll do an A. Maybe this one will have more. So I have one A here, one A here, and maybe a third one right there. A. Okay, and then this one maybe just has one. I'll go to that side. A. Okay, so now I have my stalks, now I have my leaves. Now I can color in the leaves a little bit. I am going to color in the bottom this dark green. Color in the bottom this dark green. And then on the top, I'm going to use this really light green on the top. And you'll see when I go over the dark green, it just kind of blends. That's the coolness about oil pastel. It just kind of blends. This makes it look like there's light showing. I'm blending it in the middle. There's light coming down onto these leaves. It gives it some depth. It gives it, like, you know how to do shadows, which is really advanced. So I'm going to go ahead, do dark on the bottom of the leaf and then light on the top. And blending, like going over it in the middle with both so that it blends really well. So I'm doing dark on the bottom. Let me do all the darks. In fact, let me do it super fast. Okay, so you can see that I blended it in places just by going over the other spots, and it blends it a little bit, right on, one color right on top of the other. I have some of these little crumbs. I don't know if you could see that. Here, some of these little crumbs like there. Can you see? Okay, there. So you don't want to just shove these off because they'll make marks on your paper. So you definitely want to tap it on the middle of your table where nobody's paper is. Tap, tap, tap. And then the crumbs are mostly gone and they're in the middle of the table where it's not going to bother anybody's project. Okay, so now that I have my leaves colored in, if there's any spaces that don't that isn't solid color. I just want to smush it with my finger so it is a solid color. And it fills in all those empty spaces really easily. And it's fun. You could also do this with the pastel if you want to. But I think it's super fun to do it with your finger. Okay, so that's all smushed. And now I'm going to start the printmaking. So you have 2 trays, probably, not plates. I'm at home, so I use paper plates. You also have 1 tulip sponge per person. So this is your sponge. Nobody else uses it except you. So you're going to take your tulip sponge. This is printmaking. So you're going to dip it in the color. You can dip it in one color. You can dip it in the other color. You can dip it in both colors at the same time. I think I'm going to dip it in both colors because I like the way that looks. So I'm going to dip it in both colors. Now, this is too much paint in some places, not enough paint in other places. So what I have to do is, that's what the other plate is for. The other plate I'm going to tap, 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 tap over and over again. I'm going to move it around a little bit so that it blends a little bit and so that it gets on all parts of the sponge. So now it's all over the sponge. So now I'm going, and there's enough, there's not too much. So now I'm going to go ahead to my first little stem right here. I'm going to place it. Sometimes you want to place it straight up and down. Sometimes you want it at an angle. I think I want this one at an angle, maybe going that way. And if it goes a little off the paper right here, that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to press so I get a good print, making sure that all parts of it are pressed. And then I carefully just pull it up. I don't want to smush it around. I didn't get a whole lot over there, but that's how it goes. So now I'm going to do it again. I'm using the same sponge, and I'm going to make sure that that little area that didn't get much gets some paint on it. And so now I have way too much paint. I'm going to go ahead with my blotter and blot, blot, blot. Now if I blotted it like so that the yellow was on the red part that was already here, that wouldn't look so good. It would just mix it into an orange. I mean, that looks good too. You can mix it into an orange, that's fine. Okay, so now I have this. There's just enough paint on it, and I think I'm gonna go this way. I'm just gonna press and then lift. We are not moving it around. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, now I'm gonna take this. I think I'm just gonna go on my blotter again. Blot, blot, blot. I don't think I have to take more paint. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Okay, so now I'm going to do this little one down here. Press and lift. Pretty good, pretty good. So now I'm going to experiment a little. I'm going to maybe do some yellow on the tips. And then when I blot that, now that ruins my yellow in there. So you got to make sure that it's okay, that everybody's on the experimenting part. And now I'm going to go ahead and blot it here. Should I blot it a little bit above? I don't know. Maybe I'll blot it the same place and see what happens. Blot, 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 blot. Okay, that looks pretty good. Ooh, it looks just orangey up there instead of yellow. So now I'm gonna go maybe this way a little bit. Press and carefully lift. Ooh, I like that. I like how you could see through places in it. I love it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on here again. Maybe I'm gonna go right in the middle here. I don't know what it's gonna do. We'll see. Now it's just a big mess on there, but that's okay. If you need more paint, just let me know. I will bring more paint over and I will refill you. Okay, so I'm gonna blot, blot, blot over here. And this really tall one is going to go that way, I think, just slightly. Press and carefully lift. Ooh, nice. And I'm not even going to do anything with this. I'm just going to put it down here. And this one is going to be straight up and down. Press and then lift. Ooh, nice. And this is done. Luckily, I already have my name on the back, so now I can put it on the drying rack without worrying about it. And I am done. There will be a special area, a special bowl to put your used sponges in. And then you can throw your trays away once everybody at your table is done. Okay, let's do tulip printmaking.